Katie, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate your time. Would you please introduce yourself to everybody?
Hello Shona, how are you? I'm Katie, I'm from Glasgow and I'm a multiple business owner, just recently new to everything, let's just say property and cleaning.
Interesting. And are they the only two businesses that you have, the property and the cleaning business?
Yeah, so they're the only two businesses and I still work in a full-time job as well, making whiskey and gin, all sorts of nice stuff.
Nice, very nice. I'm sure lots of people want to be your friends after you told that.
Probably, by the way, that's probably how they all ask me for stuff.
So how did it come about that you wanted to start your own businesses?
Do you know what it was? I think it was simply just years and years of going through school, kind of dyslexics getting taught, and then when I went to college, I can remember a tutor saying to me, you can't go and do the HND because such and such, and I thought, who are you to tell me that I can't do that? So then I was.
Good on you, Kate.
So then I did. I went away and applied for it, got accepted, and I passed it significantly well, even though I had like some stuff with my health and stuff like that at the time. So I couldn't go to university because of stuff with the health, and I thought, what could I do just to make sure that wound is sorer for him? And I created a girls football club out in North Lanarkshire because there wasn't anything like that, and that's something I'm quite passionate about, is sport and kind of that stuff. And then when I seen that I could actually do all that, I kind of thought, if I can do this, then why can I not do it for myself, like in other areas? Yeah. So I kind of started Googling the internet and stuff like that, and this one course kept jumping out at me, and it was about property, and I've always kind of liked the idea of property and stuff like that and what it can do for you, the vehicle, and also it looked as if it had been quite a challenge as well. So I kind of jumped into that and went and got myself some education and stuff like that, and then kind of dried up some of my savings and stuff. So I thought a cleaning business, because my family's kind of been in about cleaning for years and years, but she doesn't like social media. Who does? So I thought, well, I'm okay with social media. I don't mind people looking at me. You know what I mean? I don't mind. I'll put myself out there, but as long as you do some stuff in that, that's kind of how that came about. It was just it was more a cash flow kind of reason to support the kind of property stuff. Yeah. So that was that.
So how long have you been doing the cleaning business for?
So that must be about 6 months, I think. 6 months.
So quite new then.
Pretty new, yeah. So within obviously the 6 months, we've managed to take on somebody part-time. Mm-hmm. Most of that decision came from the fact that obviously I still work a full-time job. And my interest is obviously in property, so it was a decision that I kind of thought to myself, right, sometimes you need to outsource things, and I thought, right, okay, let's outsource.
Yeah, exactly. It must have been, I mean, starting your own business, because there's so many different business structures you could have, but then once you start employing people, I'm pretty sure that gets a lot more complicated. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I actually got some help. After going through the kind of property business setup and stuff like that, I realised how hard it actually was to get started in business. And I got myself a coach who had already had experience with other people helping them set it up. Otherwise, I reckon that I would be getting chased down the street with a tax man or something like that, because I had no idea how to set it up. But it was mainly an accountant and people like that kind of helped me out there, because like when I said, I need to take somebody on, I can remember thinking to myself, and how do you do that? Like, what do you do? Like, I can remember saying to my best friend, like, can you help me? Like, you're quite high up in your role. Can you help me, like, with interview questions and stuff like that? And I think he just looked at me as if to say, you're crazy.
So it was like you proper, like, you didn't just like pick one of your friends that needed some work. You actually like interviewed, you did it all properly. That's really
So I put it out on the Facebook page and stuff like that, and one of my questions was, what's your favourite pizza topping? Because I like pizza, and then I kind of filtered it down. I got asked that in my very first interview, and I thought that was so funny. So The people that answered it and stuff like that, and I kind of thought, okay. And then it was just a telephone call, and then I went and met the girl, and then that was it. From there.
I've got to ask you, what is your favourite pizza topping?
Oh, that's a hard one. Probably, spicy chicken. No, spicy mince. Spicy mince. See, to be fair, I'm actually not that fussy.
So just pizza in general is fine for you.
Aye, as long as it's cooked all right, and it's not me that's making it, because I'm rubbish at cooking.
With so your business, obviously managing a business is hard anyway, and managing clients and money, for me, that's like budgeting stuff. But then when you're managing another person as well, like what obstacles have you hit in that, and how have you overcome them, or have you not had any?
So, no, I'll be honest with you, the girl that we employed has actually been very, she's good at what she does, and if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing as well. So I can't fault her in any way. I think the hardest part for me was picking somebody, because my ultimate goal is obviously to give back to other people and kind of look at other people and see what their kind of issues is and how can I help them. And I think that's something, like the emotional side was something I had to kind of take myself out of, because sometimes I like to be like, oh, are you okay? Like, can I help you with anything? Rather than, right, this is what you do, and just kind of leaving them to it. So I think it was more of the, like, letting the reins loose, if we call it like that.
Yeah, no, I totally empathize with that, because I'm always like even when I'm trying to tell somebody off, like all the way through it, I'm like, are you okay? Are you all right? like I really worry about other people's emotions.
I think that is it. That's me. Like, I care about I think that's the issue. I care like too much sometimes, like about the other person, and I'll maybe get too involved. Like, even like when I was cleaning and stuff, like I was still helping people. If I met them in their even property as well, like amount of people, like I would try to go that extra mile to make sure they were okay. And in the meantime, I'd probably be thinking, am I doing the right thing here?
Yeah. I think when you start business, I don't know if you had similar kind of training to what I did, but because a lot of my training is in property as well, and they're just like,
Yeah.
You need to keep giving, you need to keep helping people, and then it will come back to you. So that's what I keep doing. But there is like, sometimes it's like you're giving your heart and your soul and every free minute of your time, and you're like, I'm really tired now. I'm really tired.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. I think it's see, like, you could do, like, I say, like, I don't know, 15 hours in the one day working on your business, and you get nowhere. You get so much rejection, everything else, and then you have to get up the next morning and still go ahead and plough away at that same thing, even if there isn't an incoming, or you can't see sight, or you've had all that rejection the day before. Like, you just have to simply get up and go again. And I think that was something that for the first few months, and probably 5-6 months, I just didn't have the, how do you say it, I was kind of still in the employee mindset rather than the, I have to get out and get this myself, nobody's going to put it on the table, unfortunately.
But it sounds like you've got around that now, which is fantastic. I'm really happy for you. So is it weird when you go to work, because then you're playing that opposite role?
I work for a fantastic company, and that would have said the biggest. So one of their values is be entrepreneurial, and I honestly can't say that how much they've supported me. Like, I can remember when I said I was going to do this, they had a wee board and had my name on it saying that I was training and understanding how to be a property investor.
That's lovely.
So for it being, it's one of the biggest drinks companies in the world, and I would say that it's the most supportive for me, and it's gave me that kind of, like, when I started with them was only 4 years ago, I think, 3 years ago. And after about a year, I got a promotion, and I can remember, like, I thought to myself, oh God, somebody believes in me. You know what I mean? All the years at school and then everything else, I can remember getting it, and I kind of struggled, obviously. Only thing I knew I was really good at is people. Talking to people and stuff like that. So I think that was something, but I kind of struggled with, like, the kind of paperwork side and stuff like that. So that was something that obviously they helped me with. So I can't say anything else about them. They're fantastic.
That's brilliant. I'm so glad they've been so supportive of you, because I think for a lot of people that are trying to start their own business, we were talking before about how it's hard when you work full time, because it is a different mindset, there's different skills, and there's just so much to learn. So if they're actually educating you on some of that stuff, I mean, that's amazing.
They're a very, very, very good company. Even like the stuff like they help inside work and stuff like that. I think it's very good for like, oh, that's a wee golden nugget. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to implement that. You know, like how they kind of do it, like KPIs and stuff like that, and their values and stuff. That's kind of what brought on the, all right, so that's how I have to be working. That's the kind of structure. So it helped me in that sense, like understanding like what, like when somebody says KPIs in your business, you're like, what's the KPI in my business?
But for people that are watching, they may not know. So do you want to explain it for everybody for me?
What key performance indicator?
Yes, and what does that mean, Kate?
That took me about 17 years to learn.
What does it actually mean?
It's just something like you strive towards, kind of thing, a target. That's the most simplest form I could put it.
Yeah,
I mean, there's loads of things.
Well. I'm sorry that I spontaneously asked you that question. You were like, oh no, I don't. What if I say the words wrong? So well done, you win.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. Sorry, what did you just say?
I said that's what I like to hear. Can you imagine a performance indicator key?
So yeah, it's about targets. So on your business, on your cleaning business, what are those targets that you're working towards?
Probably to get enough work to be able to give back to other people within like the kind of cleaning business like economy cycle. So one of the big reasons for business, for that being my choice, was it wasn't I wanted to become out the employee role or anything like that. It was always been like I've kind of came from a coaching sense. So years and years of like, I don't know, football coaching, hockey coaching, basketball coaching, even though I was really rubbish at that. I was actually terrible at basketball coaching. So like years and years of that, I kind of thought to myself, like, what is it you really want to do? And it was basically just have something that I'm able to say to like kids like who were like me and didn't enjoy school, and kind of care leavers, so people within like the kind of care system and stuff like that. Yeah. Like kind of give them other options rather than just the simple like go get a job that you hate and just kind of work through it. Like to know that like there's employers out there like the employer I work for, and like a business, like that's kind of like the values I want to share to other people so they go and do the exact same kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like if anything is possible, if anything is humanly possible, it's within reach or something like that, isn't it?
I don't know, but it sounded really good. You should put it up. So that's how we actually started talking, because I was talking about how I work with kids that don't kind of fit mainstream education, and then you started talking to me about that. So could you talk a little bit about, like, sports was your favorite subject, right? Yeah. Is there a reason that I feel like sport helps a lot of young people when like they need something in their lives? I don't know if you could say a little bit about how it's helped you, sport.
Yeah, of course. So I think sport was a way for me to talk as such throughout school and stuff like that. So like numbers and stuff like that didn't really come like first nature. It always came second nature, and I had to go away and get further education to become like the standard that I had to become. But I think sport, on the other hand, it was like, oh, I'm really good at doing this, and it was practical. So I think that was the biggest thing. It was more practical than it was theory and stuff like that, head down, and that's something that I enjoyed. Like even like woodworking, stuff like that. I know that's like, but it wasn't like, oh, right, I need to write an essay, like 500 words or something like that. Because throughout school, even high school until I think 5th year, I really, really did struggle with like reading black on white and stuff. So I think that's probably my reason. It's just, it doesn't matter like what school and stuff like that, like what they say about you, but things are possible. I mean, hopefully I'm hopeful that I can be an example of that in the future.
Yeah, no, I think you are. I'd love to have you come visit my students one day, but you're quite far away right now. But one day when I've got lots of money for a minibus.
A minibus. I would like a Lamborghini.
I'm classy.
I'd like
I take minibuses.
Oh, that's cool. And we can sing the wheels on the bus all the way. Sounds good to me.
So you mentioned earlier about your dyslexia, and that was one of the reasons that maybe you struggled a little bit. How does that affect or not affect or even support you starting your own businesses?
I think, how does it support? So I think probably, I think it's just a challenge, and I just accept it every single day, and just, if I see something, so like, that's what you are in business, really, isn't it? You're a problem solver.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of had to problem solve with the fact that my writing, like, I think I'm the only person that could understand my writing. Like reading, like black on white and stuff like that. How do I move forward for that? So I think it was a challenge that I liked. So it's more about like, how can I do better for myself and everybody else around about me, like my family and stuff like that. So I think that's the biggest thing, like just showing people, like my wee nephew and stuff, like you don't have to be, he's not really that good with numbers and stuff like that, but you don't have to be good with numbers to go and get like HNDs, a good job, or start a business. Like you don't really need that. You just need to be driven, passionate about what you're going to do. I guess.
Yeah, I think that's really good. Brilliant. So yeah, I'm dyslexic too, so I totally understand what you're talking about. And I have ADHD, so I get like hyped. That's why I had a bar of chocolate. That's why I'm quite hyped right now.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. I get quite hyper as well. Probably never even thought about that, but I'm 100 miles an hour. That's my issue.
But I feel like for some people, like they'll be like, what's going on? You're going too fast, like you move. But for me, like it's really important to like just my lifestyle, like just keep moving, be happy, keep smiling, move on to the next thing. And everything you were saying about like being practical, that is all what I'm always promoting all the time, in my school and for my future school that I'm going to own. It's just all about vocational. It's like, you don't, like you said, you don't need to be able to write an essay about how I don't need to write an essay about how I made this mural, right? Like I just had to make it and it's on the wall and it's done. I don't need to write about it. What does that achieve? So
exactly. That's it.
In your, what do I want to ask you? I don't know. I've run out of questions.
That's probably because I just chat so much. I could actually chat the back legs off a donkey.
You've made this interview so easy. Thank you. So, okay.
Anytime.
The last question. If there was just a message that you wanted to put out there into the world, this is your chance to write your own poster, yeah? If there was a message that you had to put out there to young people, or just not even just young people, anybody, what is that message you would want to put out into the world?
If you ever hear the words "I wish" coming out your mouth, then don't wish, just go and do it. Like, don't think like be scared to failure or anything like that. Just those, like, be better than average. Can you imagine, like my mentor always says as well, like, can you imagine like in your deathbed or something like that, you're like, oh, I lived an average life with an average thingy. And I think when I hear people talk about that, I think, oh my God, what if I'm going to be average? Like, am I going to be average? And then, like, if I say like, oh, I wish I could do that, or putting things off, like, oh, I'll do it next week. Why? Because like tomorrow's never promised, and wishing isn't, like, a wish. That's probably my biggest fear, is that word, is wishing. So don't wish, just do it. That's it.
Just do it. I love it. I'm so glad we had this chat today. I've really enjoyed this. It's made me really happy. Thank you.
Yes, I'm glad. That's the goal. Make people happy, smile.
I might have to book a call with you like every couple of weeks just to like get my energy up, yeah?
That's cool. As long as you don't end up bouncing back into your living room, people are thinking, what the hell have you been doing? Too much fizzy juice.
Yeah, exactly. Did we talk about cherry cola when I messaged you? Did I message you about the cherry cola? No, it wasn't you.
No.
When I have a cherry cola, that you would think I was drunk, but I wasn't. I was just like on cherry cola. But it's good though. When people invite me to the pub, I prefer to drive because I'm too cheap to get a cab. So So then I don't drink. So it's all quite helpful, this ADHD. It's cheap.
I'm needing to get myself a wee dose of that.
Yeah, you do.
If it's cheap for the pub.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and have a lovely jubbly week.
Yeah, you too, and have a nice weekend. Oh, it's not even the weekend. What day is it? It's Tuesday.
It is. We've still got a few days left, but it's a long weekend as well, and it's half term, which counts for me.
Is it not a long weekend for you? It's not us up here in Scotland.
Oh, I didn't know you had different rules. I'm sorry.
Come on.
I know you've got different rules, but I didn't think your bank holidays were different. So you've taught me something there today. Thank you very much.
Every day's a school day.
It definitely is. All right, okay. You have a good evening. I'll see you later.
You too, Shona. Have a nice one.
Bye.
Hey!